welcome back. Today I have a huge thrift haul to share with you guys. This is kind of everything I've accumulated through the month of June. It's all secondhand thrifted. I got a lot of it from my local thrift store, some of it online from like eBay, Poshmark, and all that good stuff. And I have a feeling this is going to end up being a rather long video, so I'm just gonna kind of get into it. I'm going to start with the stuff I found at my local thrift store first, and I would say I had a pretty successful haul there. I found some old D&D books. I found this Forgotten Realms book by R.A. Salvatore, who is one of my favorite D&D authors. He does the Drizzt series, and I have read this one about like 7-8 years ago, but it's been long enough that I don't really remember it, so I ended up picking it up. And then I found another older Forgotten Realms one. It's not in like the best condition, but that's okay. They were only like 99 cents to $1, so not picky with that. And then I found a tour book. This is the Towers of the Sunset. I'm pretty sure this is the middle of the series, but that's okay. I found The Rowan by Anne McGaffrey, and I actually did, when I first picked this up, I was pretty sure that this was a series, and then I went on eBay and I actually did find the other books in the series, so I'm excited to start reading this soon. This is one of the sci-fis that she did. She usually only does fantasy. She's most known for her Dragon Riders of Pern books, so I'm pretty excited to pick up and read one of her sci-fi books. I got lucky and I found a Warhammer fantasy book, and this is Bloodborne. This would be considered old world Warhammer now after they moved to Sigmar, but people got upset that they axed a lot of the army, so they ended up bringing back the old world stuff. This one I did find for fairly cheap. It's only like $1, which is cool because everyone's reselling anything GW related for an insane amount of money. I found Into the Labyrinth by Margaret West and Tracy Hickman. I love old fantasies. I always love the artwork on them. And I love how this one's in pretty pristine condition. You can't really see on camera, but like the pages are a little yellowed, but that's just to be expected of old books. This one is a little bit more beat up. This is an Andre Norton and Mercedes Lackey collab book, and this is Elven Bane. I really like this one because this is one of the old covers where like the pictures are slightly raised. So like I like kind of touching the texture of it, and you can tell like the wording's a little shiny. And it just, every time I see the old books, I always get really upset because they just don't make fantasy books like they used to. They used to put so much effort into the covers, and now they're just very generic. They'll put like a sword and shield or flowers or something AI generated because they just don't want to pay artists. And it's sad because it feels like fantasy is kind of losing its identity a little bit. This is another Margaret West, and this is The Hand of Chaos. This one is also in pretty decent condition. And I didn't know they had put these out. These came out in like 2005, I think. These X-Men books about Wolverine. These were actually on sale for 50 cents, so I figured I might as well pick them up. I believe these are by different authors. Yeah, this one is by David Stern. This one is by Mark Zersani. And then this one is by Peter David. So those look pretty interesting to pick up and read. And then last weekend, I made another round to my hobby shop against my better judgment. I'm supposed to be saving money, but I found these really cool old like sci-fis. These are from the 70s. I think one's from the 60s. I'm not sure. This one's 1970, and this one is 1974. So I love the old 60s and 70s sci-fis. I love the really like psychedelic kind of surreal art style for them. And it always makes me sad how cheap these used to be. Like 60 cents when it's almost $20 for like a basic novel now. They're a little beat up looking, but that's okay. I got these, I think I paid a little bit more for them. I think they were like $1.29. Rest in peace, the cover on this one. I thought the tag was coming off nicely, and then one part it just like fused to the cover and just completely ripped it off. So that's disappointing. It's kind of hard to take the old tags off of the older books because of the material and like the way that they were printed. So even when you got like the nice tags that peel off easy, they just still kind of destroy your books anyway. I found a Piers Anthony book, The Source of Magic. I believe this is in the middle of the series. I think there's like a whole bunch of these. I know Piers Anthony has like a shit ton of books out, so I might end up having to look. Source of Magic. Okay, yeah. This is the second book in the Magic of Xanth series, so I'm gonna have to find the first one. And then I found a sci-fi. I've been trying so hard to find vintage sci-fis or just any kind of sci-fi because I feel like it's impossible to find any kind of sci-fi anymore. It's always like romantasy. Like if you go to Barnes and Noble, you can't even find like regular fantasy anymore. So hunting down sci-fi, and this is Hug Out. This is Hung Out by Margaret West and Dawn Perrin. Oh, the light just, the cover is really glossy, but it has really cool artwork, so I'm trying to showcase it. And I actually found some manhwa, which is not to be confused with manga. This is Korean comics. So these are actually in really good condition, and they looked really cute, so I ended up picking them up. This is Magical JR by Lee Sun-young. And they kind of stick together because the labels or the price tags kind of like melted, and so they left like that sticky residue on them, and I haven't been able to get it off. Sad days. Price tags are the bane of every book lover, I swear. And then it's funny, someone donated like a bunch of like those really corny old like 80s 90s romances, kind of Harlequin-esque romances with like the really corny covers like this. Somebody really loved like Native American romances, like loved them. There's like 20 of them, and I was like, well, they could be interesting. And I picked up the back to look at the description of one of them, and oh boy, they did not age well. They did not age well. One was like, she vowed to hate all Indians, and then she met the one, and then he was one of the good ones, kind of things. And I was like, oh, I understand why they dumped these in today's political climate. But I did find some that looked really interesting, rummaging through all of them. These ones are about vampires, and I do believe this is a series, and these are by Amanda Ashley, and the first one is Shades of Grey. And I gotta say, I do really like these covers. Like, as corny as they are, they're always really nice and detailed looking. And this one is Embrace of the Night. I'm not sure if these are in order. I'm pretty sure I'm missing one in the series. This one's actually cool because it's got some art on the inside. And then this one is Deeper Than the Night. This one's also got some art in the inside. And it's funny because the owner, I don't think she put her name, oh she did. She has like her, so if you're Rihanna, just know some of your romances went to a good home. I might have to put mine in there. I have a little ex libris stamp because people keep borrowing my books and then never giving them back. So I've started putting my name in them. In the same vein of romances, I found these two on Mercari for $6 and I thought they sounded interesting. And since they were only $6, I decided to pick them up. And these are about werewolves. And I was like, a corny 80s romance about werewolves, sign me up. So this is Heart of the Wolf and Secrets of the Wolf by Saran Dawson. And I gotta say, I actually quite like these covers. Like, corny, but again, they're so nice and detailed and like they're eye-popping. And again, they put in little details like the raised lettering and like the shiny lettering. It's just really overall nice, especially for a romance. So I found these ones on eBay. They actually looked really good. I believe this is the whole series. They were only $10 and they're in pretty good condition, so I decided to pick them up. These are by John Lee, and this is the unicorn piece, the unicorn solution, and the unicorn dilemma. I haven't really read anything about unicorns. I know my cousin really likes unicorns, so after I'm reading these, I might give these to her, but I don't know, I think the covers of these are what caught my eye. I was just kind of like sifting through the vintage fantasies and stuff, and I was like, oh, those kind of look interesting. And these are by Tor, I believe. Most of these fantasies are by Del Rey or Tor. So if you're trying to find any of them, and trying to find them through the publisher might be easiest. I'm sorry if I'm a little sniffly. My allergies are being haywire today, and some of the must from the books is not helping. So I found this on eBay. This you might have seen in my short stories. I did show off a little bit. This is the Dragon Riders of Pern box set. And my god, they do not make box sets like they used to. This is so nice, thick, hard quality book compared to the ones now where it feels like a little folded pieces of construction paper. I miss those days, man. But look how nice the art is. It's a little beat up around the edges, but like the spines of the book are in pretty good condition, and like the books don't really look like they were ever read. And now it makes me nervous to read them because I don't want to like ruin the spines on them. Because I've seen some other sets where the like the book box looks really nice, but like the books themselves were really beat up and then the spines were all cracked. And I'm not like afraid of like breaking or cracking the spines, but with the older books, it's a little hard because like the printing on them, when they start getting cracked, they like flake off. Like the print paper and stuff like starts to peel off, and I would like to still be able to see the titles of them. But yeah, that was Dragon Riders of Pern by Anne McCaffrey. Now I'm actually really excited I found this box set because I found it for, I think it was $15 for this set. It's still in pretty good condition, so that was a happy find. This one, I've already started reading this series. It's actually pretty good. This is the Duncton Chronicles by William Harwood. This is the Duncton Wood, and this is Duncton Quest, and this is Duncton Found. And this is a trilogy, and as you may have noticed on the art here, there are little moles, and this is the whole reason why I picked out this series, is because of these little moles. So this is advertised as being like a Watership Down mixed with Lord of the Rings, and I was like, I'm sold. I'm absolutely sold. You had me at Lord of the Rings. And I really love books where they're about like animal societies, and so I just needed to pick these up because I liked Watership Down, I liked Fireheart, I liked Redwall, I liked the Warrior Cat series. So yeah, I really felt like I wanted to pick these up and give them a try. I'm on chapter 4 on Duncton Wood, and it's really interesting so far. I think my only complaint is that it needs to either build or describe the society a little bit better, because it does feel a little confusing, because it's moles that act people-like, but at the same time they're still moles, so they still have like their mating seasons and brooding and stuff like that. And so it can feel like a little confusing or off-putting, because you don't really get like a good sense of like really what this mole society is like. But so far it's actually pretty good, and I think that's okay. I don't think I need the gritty details of mole society. Yeah, but it does kind of feel like Lord of the Rings so far, because they have like these old traditions where they want to go to like the rock, and there's like this mole kind of like taking over this burrow and den, and they gotta go on like a quest to, it's good. It's good. I know it's silly to say because I'm only on chapter 4, but it's like the chapters are kind of long, so like they actually did like a lot of detailing on what's going on with the moles and stuff, so it's actually really good. I think I might do a review on it if I really end up liking it towards the end. Oh boy. Oh boy. Listen stuff. So not Andrew Lloyd Webber. That'd be a very different series. David Webber is one of my favorite sci-fi authors, but I've only ever read a handful of his books. And so on eBay, I found a lot of books for only $24, and I figured I'd pick them up because they're all in pretty good condition. And this is his Honorverse series. I only had like one book out of this series, and it was in the middle of the series, so I never really ended up reading it. I believe this is like most of the series, but I think I'm still missing like 2 to 3 books. They're all out of order because I've had to move them around a bunch of times, but the first one I got is The Short Victorious War. This was the one I had. I had it in a hardback, and then I gave it to the little free library because I was like, I'm not sure if I'm ever going to read this. It's been sitting on my shelf for years. I don't have the other books, and now I kind of wish I kept it because now I have the other books. But last time I went down there, it was still sitting down there, so maybe if I go down there again, it might still be there. A Rising Thunder. I really love the art for these two, and I love how the main character always has like this space cat on her shoulder. So if you want like a good sci-fi with a female lead, I highly recommend the books by David Webber. And there is also I think he did a YA series recently, but I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Honor the Queen. And Basilisk Station. I love how the cover on this one is shiny. The cover on my hardback one was shiny, but oh, this one's shiny too. I didn't notice that. Whew. We're almost through it. We're at 20 minutes. We're almost there. I can't believe it's been 20 minutes already. I've been on a bit of a Star Wars kick, and I've been really into Thrawn and Thrawn's backstory lately, so I found these on eBay for 10 bucks, and I really liked this set because the artwork on it is phenomenal. I like how you put them together and you get Thrawn's face in the background. And then the third one, just kind of Thrawn himself. I just love like the foreshadowing and the foreboding in this artwork, like how there's just the looming threat in the background. I just love that. But yeah, this is, which one was the first? This one's the first one. This is Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn, and this one is Dark Force Rising. And then The Last Command by Timothy Zahn. I believe every Thrawn book is by Timothy Zahn, because I know the newer series was by him also. These ones, unfortunately, were put into Legends, but I believe the newer ones are canon. I'm not sure, though. I got Ahsoka by E.K. Johnston. Ahsoka is one of my favorite characters, so naturally I had to pick this up. I found this on eBay for $4. I believe it was from one of the Goodwill secondhand stores, so pretty good deal. I was a little nervous because sometimes on eBay from these mass used secondhand stores, they only have, how would you call it, a stock photo, and then they'll be like, oh, it's in like good condition or something, but you have no way of verifying that. And I've been burned by some of these stores where I've gone just completely decimated books, and like, I'm not picky about my books. I don't care if they're used or the spines are cracked or if like there's a bent edge, but when I get a book and like the pages are stuck together and there's nail polish dripping down the side, I'm gonna be a little upset, especially when it was labeled in good condition. And if I get a library book when it's not described as being a library book, I might also be a little upset. Because a lot of, like, I don't mind used lot or library books, but I don't know. I just, when it's not labeled as such, so you're not expecting it and that's what you get, feels a little frustrating. So I got more Thrawn books. This is the newer series I was talking about. This is just Star Wars Thrawn. And then I got the second one, which is Thrawn Alliances. This is a trilogy, but I've not picked out the third one yet. I have read this one. It is a bit of a slow burn. It does pick up towards the end, but I think I'm going to take a little break from it before I dive into the second one. I got a pretty good deal on these. I got both of these hardbacks for only 10 bucks, which I was really surprised by because people have been trying to sell these for like 50 to 60 bucks, even though they are still in print, and you can still get the hardbacks specifically off Barnes & Noble. I literally just looked at their website the other day and found them, so that's really annoying. I got El Zorro, Legends of the Raven, which looked really interesting. I bought this with this lot that I'm going to show you in a minute. I got 4 books for like 16 bucks. They're all like good condition and McGaffrey books. But she also had this book and she's selling it for like $5-6, so I just kind of threw it in my cart because I'm like, that looks interesting. I really like the artwork for it, so I'm kind of excited to read this one because, like, the little known fantasies sometimes are the best ones. Okay, we're almost through the pile. So the other thing I got from the seller was Anne McCaffrey Dragon Eye. This is also part of the Dragon Riders of Pern series. I was really excited for this because look how nice this is. This is vintage. This is from 80s, I think. Yeah, this one came out in the 80s. Or is that reprinted? I don't know, I can't find it now. Yeah. I like just, I don't know, it kind of makes me sad when books are like old but they look brand new because it doesn't like feel like they ever got the love they deserved, like they've been unread or just sitting on a shelf. I'm always pro abuse your books because it shows they've been loved, but like, you know, don't necessarily go out of your way to wreck them, but like when they have like creased corners and stuff or like a cracked spine, you know they've been loved and read. So it kind of makes me feel sad when books just look pristine. So this is the Rowan series that I was talking about. When did this one come out? Uh, 94. Oh. 31 years old. Holy shit, I feel old. I was thinking this one was a little bit older than that. I think these are out of order. I didn't like bother to kind of put them in chronological order, but I love the art on this. Like look at those. What are those? Like little alien humanoid monkey things. God, I really just miss the old art. And then this is, I think it's Paramount's Demise. Demias's children. I love the space cat. It looks so grumpy. And then the last one I got is Damia. Okay, we are on our last book. And this one I got for like $6. And this is The Rune Lords by David Farland. And this one I know for sure is the first in the series. And I had to pick this one up because it was so cheap. But like, look how stunning these end papers are. There we go. Get a little bit less of a glare on it. I love how it has like this giant troll. I think it's a troll. Maybe it's an ogre or something. But I just loved the art for this and the inside of the book. Like, even the back art of the world and environment is stunning. This is also a tour book. When did this one come out? $1998. So yeah, that was my giant, insane, thrift, secondhand book haul. It's probably going to be my last book haul for a while. I do need to be saving some money. But yeah, also I've just accumulated more books. I need to read them and pare some of them down. You can see a giant pile behind me. This is my TBR pile. And it's kind of gone untouched because I am a mood reader and I've just been reading random other things instead. But yeah, I will be posting what I've read in June soon, probably next week. I haven't had time to sit down and accumulate my thoughts on each book. I'm trying to make them more organized before I post them and not just be rambly. But yeah. Thank you for tuning in for my thrift haul. Thank you for having the patience to sit through all of it. Let me know what books you're interested in, which ones you'd like to see reviews for. Have you read any of these books? Let me know what to expect of them in the description below. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!